How do you repair a broken engine cover without buying a new one or crazy super welding abilities? I don't know, maybe smack this on a rock and have this go through there. I want to show you how to fix that without having to buy a new one. All right, guys, here is my ignition cover from the WR. From the day that I put a hole in it, you can see it's got some epoxy on it. I'm going to go ahead and knock this out and show you what we did to fix it, and then show you how I'm going to fix it, so now I will have a spare. First things first, we got to get that out of there. All right. So that wasn't hard because this was a field repair. I wish I'd had my camera and been running when I did this, but let me give you the quick lowdown. I hit the rock. I noticed that my foot was slipping off the shifter. I looked down, saw it was covered in oil, was like, ah! Stopped, found that gaping hole. Was able to take our Tusk epoxy, which is, I believe, probably the same exact stuff, like physically the exact same as in the Quick Steel and the Moose and the whatever. Tusk is just now branding it. Really cool stuff. I highly recommend you carry this with you every time you ride because it has saved me numerous times, and it saved me this day in a crazy, crazy way because we were pretty far out in the desert, and if I hadn't had some way to fix it, I was definitely going to have to tow the bike because with this big a hole, I was going to run out of oil, lock the motor up, and I'm obviously just not willing to do that. So I was able to take this out, and I'll show you later because we're going to do this the right way. Break off a piece, like mush it all together, get it into a sheet, and then I took my gloves and I wiped this off as well as I could. Couldn't get it super clean because I didn't have all the stuff, didn't have any brake cleaner or anything like that. Got it all cleaned up as much as possible, made a little sheet, kind of let it cure a little bit and get a little bit hard, and then pushed it on there, and the motor was super, super hot, which is good because it helped cure that stuff really fast, and it sealed up well enough to get out without having to worry about it. It made it out. Now I am ready to actually fix this thing and make it so I have a spare. I was fortunate enough to know Mr. Cody Webb, who sent me this cover because he puts the cool GYTR covers on that are billet, and so he has these takeoffs. So I got this and a signed jersey from him, which is rad. Huge thank you to Cody for that. I really appreciate it. And we got going not even a whole week down. The first thing you got to do to this is clean it really, really good. So I'm going to do that with some brake cleaner. You guys always wonder what's in here. It's brake, actually not much in here right now, so I'm going to fill it up. But we put brake cleaner from Nutech, N-U-T-E-C-H. The deal is you want to clean the inside and outside of this really, really well, get all the oil off of it. All right, guys, we got it super, super clean inside and out. Really happy about how that worked out. Now, here's the thing. With a hole this big, you need something to support the epoxy because it's going to want to fall through, and we're looking for something to support that. You can get kind of mesh. I'm sure there's all sorts of things. Honestly, guys, if you've used rocks before, all that good stuff. But I like this. This is an aluminum like heat shield tape. Nothing special, but what it is it's got adhesive on it, so it'll kind of stick, and then we can lay the putty over it, and it'll help hold that from falling in or out, whichever way we start. So with this repair, guys, it's going to be pretty critical to be careful of this hole so that the bolt can go in and out of it. Because when I fixed it, I just covered that bolt up and I had to chisel it off to get this thing off. So we want to be careful not to cover that up. All right, like that. So I can do like that. It's going to make it nice and it's going to conform well to it. So let's just do like that, and we'll cut the excess off once we get it on there. Now we're going to come in and we're just going to trim what we don't need. I like that. That is going to be really, really good. Now we're going to start with the epoxy on this side. So it will come in here. It's going to touch that adhesive right there. Right, I don't care that it's adhesive, but it was going to touch that and should kind of fill that hole in. But one of the things you got to do now so that epoxy sticks really well, although this aluminum is pretty porous and so it's going to stick anyway, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of sandpaper and we're going to sand all the way around this. Rough this up is all we're doing so that epoxy has the best possible chance to stick. All right, there we go. I like that. Again, this stuff is so porous that it probably would stick pretty well anyway. So now I'm going to take our Tusk epoxy. I'm sure it's the same as all the quick steel, but it's packaged a little bit different. I think I like it a little bit better. It's just got a real thin layer of plastic on the outside. It's not the kind of full wrapper that you got to peel off. So what we can do is just take our razor knife. We don't need much. Just cut ourselves a hunk. You can see we just peel that off. And we're just going to mix it up. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, have done this. If you haven't, you're new to this sport or new to repairing things in a caveman kind of way. This stuff is absolutely amazing. And there'll be a link in the description, guys. And while I'm mixing this up, big shout out to Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Those guys are amazing for the sport. They're amazing for me. They're amazing for you. If you don't already shop there, you should consider it. Also, definitely consider using our link that's in the description because it helps us. We make money. That's awesome. It makes this easier to continue to do videos like this. But then also, it will enter you into winning a chance to win our YZ144 project that we're building. So make sure you check out those videos. Those are live right now. The bike's not done, but there's lots of videos live showing the build of the motor, the suspension, the chassis, all that stuff. So make sure you check that stuff out. And every $10 you spend at Rocky Mountain will get you an entry to win. So, all right, feeling pretty good. You're just looking for it to be uniform color. Nothing super special about this. I'm going to take this and we're going to lay it in here. The ignition cover is an interesting place. You got to be pretty careful because the stator lives in here. And so you got to make sure there's room for that stator. Really kind of mush it down into that hole. And you can see it's kind of starting to push that out. That's okay. And again, the stator lives right in here, so you got to make sure there's room. And if someone's got a good way of making so your fingers don't stick to it, definitely comment below. I have just noticed that it's kind of just the way it is until it starts to really cure. But you got to kind of keep working it because you want to make sure that these edges really adhere, because you don't want this stuff floating around in your motor later. As it's hardening up, I'm able to push harder on it and not have it stick to my fingers. Here's the deal. If it's going to bulge anywhere, you want it to bulge out, right? Especially on the ignition cover because, like I said, the stator lives inside here. So it's okay that that's kind of bulging. We're okay with that. I like the way that looks. Looks like it's nice. Like what you're looking for is that all the edges are like really smeared down and tight. And they all look really good. I'm really happy about that. I'm going to let this sit. I believe 15, 20 minutes is about all you got to do. Here, let's see. It's got instructions. Clean and roughen the bond area prior to application. Twist off desired amount. Knead until uniform color. Repair should be in place before hardening. Starts within 2 minutes, it says. After 1 hour, repair can be drilled, filled, tapped, machined, etc. So, it's awesome. Oh, here we go. That's for a smooth surface, hand rub with tap water prior to hardening. I'm not too worried about that on this. I don't need it to be super smooth, so no big deal. I'm going to actually leave that like that. I'm going to let that sit, let it cure, and then we're going to come out here and work on this side. Because this stuff is shiny, it's not going to want to stick right away, so I'm going to roughen that up too. And I'm not putting pressure in on that, so this is still hardening just fine. There we go, let her sit. All right, guys, that is feeling really good and stiff, so happy with that. Now let's move to the outside. Same process, guys. We're just going to cut a little chunk off. Same, guys. But other side, we're going to make sure we get outside over that shiny stuff, because even though we roughed it up, it's probably not quite going to adhere to that as well as it would, or as well as it's going to the aluminum. All right, now I'm gonna try doing the tap water thing, see if we can make this even smoother. I don't know, I've never tried that before. So I don't know if it's better, but it definitely keeps my finger from sticking to it, so that's nice. I'm guessing that this water is going to make it take a little longer to cure, but that's okay. Because we're not in a hurry. This is not a field repair. We're just doing this as make it a spare. So I don't think it really matters that it maybe take a little bit longer to cure with water on it. And again, maybe not. I don't know. Someone who knows more about the chemistry of this stuff can comment. I'm gonna let this sit, and we'll check back in when it's all cured and show you what it looks like and how it feels. When you're storing this stuff, you kind of want to seal these ends up. So I actually kept that little end that was on there. Just gonna put it back like that. Drop this back into there. I don't really need the instructions. I know how to do that. There we go. Now, this one is staying here in the shop, but I have one in my pack. I've always had one in my pack, and it's really good stuff. Again, I think it's the same as any of the other brands out there. It's just rebranded. So if you buy that stuff, you buy maybe 3 of them, we'll end up getting you a entry to win, because they're not very expensive. They're like $3 or $4. So you might have to buy 3 to equal $10, but you can do it. All right, guys, we got it all done. Been sitting here about an hour. Feels good. Sounds like aluminum. I like it a lot. Now, the only thing that I have a little bit of question about on this is whether or not the stator will fit in here perfectly without any kind of issue, because this seems maybe, although I don't know, this seems like part of the cover that's like kind of rolls around, because you can all see a little bit of the cover in there. So I think that's going to be okay. I don't know, but if I have to go back to this, if I have to use this at any point, I can set it in here, see if it touches. If it does, I can kind of either grind that or file that back, because now, like the instructions said, you can drill, tap, whatever. This stuff is super, super hard and really good. Like how that turned out there. Bolt will fit right in there without touching that stuff. You can tighten that down and it won't crack anything. So yeah, there you go. Super simple, easy way to save a cover, whether it be a clutch cover, ignition cover, inner clutch cover, anything honestly that doesn't have pressure. Now, I don't trust that epoxy on things that have pressure behind them. So I don't know about, I mean, if you're field fixing it to get out, you got to do whatever you got to do. But I don't know that I completely trust that on anything that has pressure. But there's no pressure behind this cover, so it's just splashing oil onto it, so no problem. I also don't like that stuff for structural things like levers. I've seen people try that. I've never actually seen it work very well. Maybe comment below if you've had it work, and that's awesome if you have. Sweet. I've just never seen it work. So yeah, I like it, guys. Go to Rocky Mountain ATV MC in the link below, pick some of that up, buy something else, get entered to win our 125, all that good stuff. Also, comment below if this helped you do this job. If you learned something from this, or you did it and it worked and all that, comment below. I'd love to hear you guys' stories. I like to hear that we are helping guys stay out there and keep riding their dirt bikes. So yeah, I love you. See you on the next one.